Hello, and welcome to the session recording from the AWS Summit London 2015, focusing on Introduction to AWS Storage Services. My name is Matt McLean, and I am a Solutions Architect with the partner team at Amazon Web Services. Before we get started, if you'd like to download the slides from this session, please check the video description for a link to the slides on the AWS SlideShare, where you can view and download the slides. Today I'm going to be taking through the following AWS storage options. Now you may ask, why are there so many different storage options? Well, data sets and applications demand different levels of performance, cost, and access interfaces, and data comes in different shapes and sizes. It is important to understand what technology will meet your data needs, giving the right performance at the right price. First, we'll start with object storage. This should be the default storage option for production workloads in many cases, as it offers the most economical and durable option. We are constantly producing more and more data. With our mobile devices, we're capturing moments in the form of video and images, and these have huge demands on storage, both in the total volume and the number of transactions. And it's not just the consumer industry. Also, many different industries, such as financial services, healthcare, media, entertainment, oil and gas, are collecting, analyzing, and storing enormous amounts of data. Now, traditional file systems are unable to cope with all of these different use cases for storage. Cloud object storage is able to cope. So let's get some definitions out of the way first. In terms of what is an object storage. An object storage system stores your file with its metadata together in a flat structure as opposed to a file system, which stores your data in a hierarchy and separates the file from your metadata. So the benefit of object storage is that it allows you to have immense scale over traditional file systems. Amazon Simple Storage Service, or S3, is our object storage offering. Sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but it really does take away the complexity of provisioning and managing storage. This service was released back in 2006, and it's a very mature and proven service, and used by large-scale companies such as Dropbox for content collaboration, Netflix for video streaming, and Pinterest for their site images and big data analysis. One of the reasons why our customers love S3 is because of its scalability. You can store trillions of objects, and it serves millions of requests per second. It's still growing rapidly, and in fact, it had 95% year-on-year growth in Q4 2014 for data transfer in and out. So S3 allows our customers to accommodate usage peaks without having to worry about the performance of their underlying storage infrastructure or designing for peaks, which is a very error-prone and expensive practice. S3 is highly durable. Your data is stored across 3 separate facilities, giving you geo-redundancy, and we can sustain data loss in 2 facilities simultaneously, and your data is still safe. So the service is designed for 11 nines of durability. So you need to consider what it would take to architect for such a level of durability in your own data centers. So S3 is inexpensive, but we also give customers the flexibility of less durable storage for a lower cost. And this is our reduced redundancy option, where you can save approximately 20% over normal S3. This is a good option for reproducible or temporary data sets. S3 is very simple to manage. There's no need to partition data into volumes to accommodate system limitations or performance considerations. To store objects in S3, you create buckets. These are containers for your objects, unlimited by size or number of objects. These objects with the right permissions are addressable over the internet via a simple API call. This means S3 can be used from everything from storing images to application data to backups. S3 can also be used for your web server for static content, serving static content, allowing you to completely offload static web serving and run dynamic content on EC2. So at this point, you're thinking S3 is great with all the features it provides, but how do you compare costs with traditional storage? First, let's look at the costs of traditional storage. First of all, you need to pay for the raw storage. But that's not the actual storage that's available for your applications. You need to take into consideration things like RAID levels, file system overhead, and also you need to keep free storage reserve. So this reduces dramatically the amount of storage available to your applications. With S3, you only pay for the data storage you use. So in this example, you only pay for 400 terabytes of used storage. S3 is priced per gigabytes per month, only for the data you actually use. We have different prices in different regions, but for our major ones, such as Ireland, we charge 3 cents per gigabyte per month. You need to compare that to the cost of purchasing storage systems, maintaining replicas, capacity buffers, administration and data center costs, such as power and cooling. AWS, we are also focused on continually taking cost out of our services. We like to pass these benefits on to our customers in the form of price reductions. So far, S3 has had 8 price reductions since it was launched back in 2006. Last year, we had a dramatic 51% decrease in price for our S3 service. We understand that it's difficult to do apples-to-apples comparison of S3 with traditional storage. So we have a TCO team who are available to help. If you'd like access to that team, please reach out via your account manager. Many of our customers use S3 as a staging area and persistent store for big data analysis, such as using our other Amazon services, EMR and Redshift. Yelp is such a customer of ours doing this. So they're developing features like autocomplete, review highlights, and ad placement based on their detailed log analysis. And really, S3 allows them to focus on these innovative features without worrying about maintaining the underlying storage system. So let's look into some new S3 features we've launched recently. Back at reInvent in November 2014, we announced S3 event notifications. So as soon as your application uploads an object to S3, for example, a high-resolution photo, S3 will fire off a notification that goes to either our SNS, or Simple Notification Service, SQS, our Simple Queuing Service, or our new Lambda Event-Driven Compute Service. This allows your application to automatically process thumbnails, for example, and resize versions for different mobile devices. S3 versioning is another feature of S3. Versioning augments S3's extreme durability and high availability with logical data protection. Once you turn on S3 versioning on a bucket, S3 will keep a version of all changed objects to protect you from human error or data corruption. You can limit how many versions S3 keeps by leveraging an expiration policy. Even though S3 is designed for 11 nines of durability out of a single region, some of our customers have asked us to automate the replication of objects between regions. This helps them to achieve different use cases. One such use case is compliance, where data is mandated to be stored hundreds of miles apart. Other use cases, lower latency, having data closer to the end users of that data. And finally, security. You're able to have it replicate across different accounts or have different security access to those buckets to save you from data loss. This feature is supported between any two regions at a bucket or key name prefix granularity. So just in summary of S3, some of the use cases we see is it's really great for web scale storage capacity and performance for web applications. Another use case is single origin store for your video or images through a content delivery network such as Amazon CloudFront. It's great for staging and persistent store for big data applications, and also as a storage target for backup and active archive. So a lot of our customers love S3, but we got feedback from these customers asking for a service for infrequently accessed data that was needed to be archived and not deleted. They also wanted the service to be offered at a lower cost. So we launched a few years back our Amazon Glacier service to meet this need. Glacier's pricing is 1 cent per gigabyte per month, so very low cost, about a third of the cost of S3. That equates to $120 per terabyte per year. Glacier is also designed for 11 nines of durability, just like S3, so you are sure that your data is safe. You need to compare this to the durability of tape, which is great for backup, but not so much for restore operations. In contrast to S3, the data in Glacier needs 3 to 5 hours to retrieve. If you want to retrieve your data, you send a request, and then we will notify when it's there, ready to be downloaded. It's also important to consider the retrieval costs of Glacier. If you're accessing your data frequently, it could almost be more economical to store your data in S3, as we charge you retrieval costs for Glacier. You have up to 5% of your data per month available to retrieve free of cost, and anything above that we will charge you. So just in summary of the Amazon Glacier benefits, it's a very good low-cost solution for long-term archiving of data, so really infrequently accessed data. You can leverage unlimited storage capacity, just like S3. It's a great replacement for tape museums, and it offers improved durability, especially compared to tape museums. But it actually gets better. We have integrated our S3 with Amazon Glacier service via policy-based archiving, so you can move data between these two services based on policies. Here is an example S3 Lifecycle Policy. So we have configured this policy on a particular bucket, and this policy is applied against all objects with the prefix logs /. And what this lifecycle policy will do is it will transition objects from S3 to Glacier 30 days after it was initially uploaded to S3. And not only can you manage moving from S3 to Glacier, you can also delete objects based on an expiration policy. So in this case, we're deleting objects 365 days or 1 year after it was initially uploaded to S3. So a customer that makes great use of lifecycle policies with Glacier and S3 is SoundCloud. They are the leading social platform for artists, allowing them to upload songs and sounds and then deliver and share across multiple devices and social networks. They transcode on S3 for real-time delivery and then move the originals to Glacier to benefit from reduced storage fees. So now the next type of storage offering we're going to talk about is Amazon Block Storage. So the first type of block storage we offer is instant storage. So this comes with nearly every EC2 instance type. However, there are a few disadvantages with instant storage. The data cannot be transferred between instances, and the data is lost when an instance is disposed of. So really, instant storage is good for temporary data. If you need persistent storage, block storage, you need Amazon Block Storage service. So Amazon Elastic Block Storage is a service which gives you replicated block storage in the same availability zone, allowing you to provision the performance that your applications may need. You can also snapshot your data to provide for backup, and we provide you metrics to monitor the state and performance of your volumes via our CloudWatch service. You get started by creating a volume and attaching it to an EC2 instance. As opposed to instant storage, you can actually detach your EBS volume from one EC2 instance and reattach it to a new instance, so your data is persistent. This is good for use cases such as, say, you want to upgrade the EC2 instance type when a new next generation instance is available. You can also group multiple volumes together. So maybe you need to segment your data, say your data files from your logs on different volumes. You can use OS and volume management tools to create an array, achieving a larger max volume size and increase performance. So until March 2015, EBS allowed you to create a volume of up to 1 terabyte. But now, we've announced support for what we call larger and faster EBS volumes. We now support up to 16 terabytes per EBS volume. And this actually creates less of a need to create those logical volumes. And it simplifies management as well as backup and recovery. So the new EBS volumes are not only larger, but they're also faster. So we now support up to 10,000 IOPS for our general purpose SSD volume, or up to 20,000 IOPS for our provisioned IOPS EBS volume. So let's put that all together. So our general purpose EBS volume offers the best price performance, and it should be good enough for most workloads, and we actually offer this as the default EBS volume type. Our original EBS volume type, which we now call magnetic, it used to be called standard, is still around. It's the most inexpensive option and good for infrequently accessed data. And finally, for the most demanding and I/O-intensive applications, we have provisioned IOPS. And these have the most consistent performance in terms of IOPS. So if you want to take backups of your EBS volumes, you do that in the form of an EBS snapshot. So you take a snapshot of your EBS volume to allow you to roll back to an older version if needed. So this could be for data corruption or human error. Your snapshots are stored in Amazon S3, so you take advantage of the high durability of that service. So use cases for taking snapshots also could be if you need to resize your EBS volumes, or for DR scenarios, as you're able to copy EBS snapshots between regions. So if you need persistent block storage, this is the use case for Amazon EBS. It's great for transactional workloads, such as ERP or databases, or when you need a file system for your instance. So one of the things that we launched last week at our San Francisco Summit was a new storage service called Amazon Elastic File System. So this is a highly consistent, highly available, extremely durable system available to multiple EC2 instances that can easily share, read, and write against the common data set. So what are the features of Amazon EFS? Well, it's a fully managed file system for EC2 instances, so you don't need to manage hardware or volumes or RAID arrays or things like that. It's a fully managed service. It provides standard file system semantics and works with standard operating system APIs, which is very important for customers that want to migrate an existing application to use Amazon Elastic File System. It's shareable across thousands of instances. So as opposed to EBS, which is only a service for a single tenant EC2 instance, with Amazon EFS, you can have the service shared amongst multiple EC2 instances. It elastically grows to petabyte scale. It delivers high performance for a wide variety of workloads, highly available and durable, and it uses the industry standard Open NFS v4 protocol. Some of the use cases for EFS include content repositories. So if you have a content management system that has assets that need to be centralized, then this is a great use case. Great for development environments, for shared code repositories, or a place to upload binaries or artifacts. Great for home directories, for desktops, web server farms, and big data in HPC kind of workloads. So some of the benefits EFS offers are to IT administrators. It really eliminates the need to manage and maintain file systems. As I said, there's no hardware, software, volumes, RAID arrays, etc. to manage. This is fully managed service. Benefits to app owners and developers. It's easy to migrate existing applications to the service. And it also speeds up time to deliver new applications, as teams don't need to wait for, say, internal IT teams to prepare the storage service. And finally, to the business. It has a very predictable pricing, so the pricing is 30 cents per gigabyte per month for the service. So it's very easy to forecast costs and really ultimately spend less time managing the file storage and more time focusing on your business. So AWS has a great set of storage services, but what about IT administrators who have on-premises systems and they want to leverage S3 and Glacier for, say, backup and recovery? That's why we have the AWS Storage Gateway service to really meet these needs. So what AWS Storage Gateway is, it's a downloadable virtual machine. We support ESX and Hyper-V. It's installed inside your data center, and it presents itself as a block iSCSI or virtual tape library target that backup and archive applications can write to without changes to existing workflows. Once data is risen into the storage gateway, it will cache and buffer it on local disk, compress it, and then send it over to either S3 or Glacier persistent storage. It has a very simple pricing model of $125 per month per gateway, plus the back-end storage costs for S3 and Glacier. You can download a 60-day evaluation copy to easily test if it fits your needs. We also have a bunch of partner solutions for storage as well, if any of the AWS solutions don't meet your needs. These are solutions for network attached storage and storage gateways, for example. And all of these can be found in the AWS marketplace. Many of these also interact and are integrated with S3 or Glacier as well. So in summary, the Amazon AWS storage portfolio, we've talked about S3, which is our object storage service, with data presented as buckets of objects. You access your data using APIs over the internet. Amazon Glacier, data presented as vaults and archives of objects, and this is our lowest cost storage offering for infrequent access by using APIs over the internet. We have Amazon EBS, which is our block storage solution, which is analogous to a storage area network. So this is the lowest latency access from a single EC2 instance. We have Amazon EFS, which is a file storage, analogous to a network attached storage, which data is presented as a file system. And this is a shared low latency access from multiple EC2 instances. And finally, the AWS Storage Gateway, which is a backup and archive data into S3 and data from an on-premises system. Thanks for joining us for this session from the AWS Summit 2015. We really appreciate you giving us time to learn about Amazon Web Services. If you want to stay up to date with new AWS services and other AWS news, please follow us on Twitter at AWS Cloud. You can also stay up to date with the latest news from AWS here in the UK and Ireland at AWS_UKI on Twitter. If you want to continue to learn about AWS, you might also be interested in the regular webinars that we are running through 2015. You can find more details on these in the video description for this video. You can also find a link to the slides from the session on SlideShare in the video description. You can download a PDF version of the slides from there. Thanks again for joining us.